Hello, my berries. It's me, Darkberry32.
Where do we go from? Where do we go from here? No one can save us from keeping clear. I don't wanna lose you, I don't wanna lose you now.
Hello, my berries. Can you hear me better now? Well, hello, my berries. It's me, Darkberry32, and I'm coming to you today with sort of a serious video, but I'm gonna try to make it as fun as possible. She wants to get in on this. Can you move, please? Move, girl. They don't need to see all of that. Do you want to be in the video? I don't know if any of you know yet, but my daughter, Kayla, and I guess you guys have seen her. If you've been longtime subscribers, you know who she is. She's been in my vlogs since forever. She's my daughter. And, you know, she was a cheerleader. She was in dance. You guys have seen her graduate. You guys have seen her go to prom, and she's off to college and all that kind of stuff. Well, Kayla has COVID-19. Okay, so yeah, Kayla was diagnosed with COVID-19 about, it's going on, well, it's been 2 weeks now. And I wanted to come on and tell you guys some of the symptoms and some of the things that we've used to help her get better, and like the entire story of what actually happened. So Kayla came home for college, and I was always telling her, you know, to be careful. And, you know, even when she was at school, she got tested with all of her girlfriends. So there's like a circle of girls that she hangs out with. And they all went and got tested together, and results were negative, which was great. So that meant that they could kind of continue to hang out with each other if they kept that, you know, little nucleus, just them, you know, just, I think it's like 5 of them or something like that. And so everything was good to go. She needed to come home for a small little get-together for a girlfriend from high school. And, you know, like I said, Kayla's so social, and she was always, Mama, can I do this? Mama, can I do that? And I'm like, yeah, you can. And I would allow her to go out with friends, but this was the contingency. You can go out, stay in separate cars, go to fast food restaurants, and eat outdoors in your separate cars and talk back and forth. That was it. Well, you know, kids, especially young kids, you know, in their 20s, they want to be social. And so I'm not even saying that she got COVID from any friend, because I don't think she did. We don't know exactly where she got it from. We cannot trace it back, because none of those people that she has been hanging out with, they do not have COVID-19, thank God. And we made sure that we called and let everybody know who, you know, we tried to do that tracing thing. And so no one has it. We have gone out to vote. We've gone to stores. You know, we try to keep our distance from people. We always wear our mask. But there's no telling, you know, and a lot of people are saying that you can get COVID from just about anywhere. You know, it's almost kind of like a matter of time, which is kind of scary, but that's what people are saying. But anyway, we still try to keep safe. For the longest time, for at least, oh my God, y'all, I want to say at least 4 or 5 months when this thing first started, I stayed in the house. I didn't go into any store. I did once with my mom. My mom needed something, so I did it for her. But oh my God, you talking about major anxiety. Then I had to start going to my doctor's appointments. Major anxiety. I was having all my groceries either delivered, or I would pick them up curbside. Like, thank God for all of that. Thank God that I knew how to do that kind of stuff, because it was so much easier for me, because like I said, I had a lot of anxiety. So fast forward to 2 weeks ago. It was like on a Wednesday. She woke up. It was the Tuesday. It was actually the Wednesday after early voting started here in Texas. So we all went together to do some early voting, and everything was fine. And she said, Mom, I'm going to go back to school the next day. And I'm like, oh, I wish you could stay. And she woke up that Wednesday morning, and she was saying that she had a headache. So that was kind of maybe like our first clue. So beware of that. She said she had a headache, and I was like, okay, we'll go take some Advil, you know, normal thing. And the thing is, though, I didn't realize that her headache had never gone away most of that day. I'm thinking, you know, she's fine. And then she would say from time to time, man, my head, you know, and I'm like, did you take Advil? Yeah, I took some. I'm like, maybe you need to take some more. You know, I totally was not thinking about COVID-19 at all. So, do y'all see this? This is what I deal with. This cat. Anyway, so later on that night, it was actually dark outside too. I think we were, you know, trying to wind down for the night, and she came into my room with a blanket on her. Now this is Wednesday, and when she got up that morning, she said, Mom, I'm not going to go back to school today. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. You know, I was excited, but she's like, but I got a headache. And I'm like, oh, okay. You know, I told her to do the Advil thing. Then later on that night, she comes into the room, and she's like blanket on her. She's like, oh my God, Mom, I'm so cold. And I'm like, you're cold? And she's like, yeah. She's like, can I get some socks? Sure. I have socks in my top drawer, you know, because she didn't bring everything back with her because she didn't think she was going to stay here that long. So, I started touching her legs, touching her hands. And I know a lot of people do this. They like to touch the head, but I always feel like if your hands are hot, your legs are hot, your feet are hot, you got a fever. So I was like, why don't you go take your temperature? So she went into her room, she took her temperature, and it was 100.2. And I was like, okay. Immediately I told her, go to your room. I started getting kind of afraid. Then I started asking her questions. You know, who have you been around? Did you actually get next to someone? And she said she did. And I was like, oh my God. But the person that we thought she may have infected or got infected from, they do not have COVID. So thank God. So immediately we thought she's got corona, because everybody's always checking temperatures, right? She's got corona. She's got corona. Corona's in my house. Ah, what do we do? You know. So I immediately told her to go in her room. I told her brother to not use their bathroom because they share a bathroom, that he has to use ours until we find out more. So my husband, I actually got on the phone with a girlfriend of mine that lives close by, that I used to work with, and she told me that her mom, and her son actually went and got tested at this place where you can get rapid results. So I was like, that's where I want to go. So I called her. She gave me the information. So I would say another thing is to kind of find out where you can go to get tested. Even if you haven't gotten tested, it's kind of good to have this information to know where you should go. So that's number 2. Know where you should go if you have to get tested. So we actually went, my husband called the next day. He called that Thursday, and they said, okay, come in Friday morning at 8 o'clock. And so we did. We made an appointment for all 4 of us, because we're like, if we're in the house with her, we all will, you know, we might as well get tested as well. So we did. All 4 of us got tested, and Kayla was the only one that ended up having COVID-19. She had COVID-19, she was positive. All the rest of us were negative, thank God. So we were like, okay, well, we're going to quarantine her, and the instructions from the doctor was she needs to be quarantined for at least 10 days after she had her first symptom. So we were like, okay, well then that'll take us over to the next Friday. Then what we'll do is we'll go get tested again and make sure that it's all cleared up. Now, let me tell you some of the symptoms that Kayla had. She had the fever. She had the fever. She had the headache. She had the cough. She would sneeze from time to time as well. And I'm trying to think what else. I think that was it. And then there was times where she felt nauseous. A lot of nauseating. She kept feeling nauseous. And so there was only one time that she actually threw up. And So yeah, it was just kind of like up and down. But what we did was that night that we found out that she was sick, we ran out and got all kinds of stuff. And so I'm going to tell you about all the stuff that I have here and exactly, you know, how we got it and what you should do and what you should use, you know. And it helped us because right now she's feeling really well. However, we went this past Friday and got her tested again. All four of us got tested again. And she still has it. I was told by the nurse that, hey, she could have it for 4 to 6 weeks. We don't know. So for now, we're just going to keep her isolated in her room. And we were making her as comfortable as possible. She's in great spirits. It's just that she's contagious. And that's another thing, you know, make sure that they don't have it, that they're negative, because, you know, you could look at her and go hang out with her and think she's fine, and she could possibly pass it on to you. So beware of stuff like that. So I just want to tell you, you know, give you some ideas of some of the things that you should maybe go and buy to help at least make them feel better, because right now she feels great. Her appetite is another thing that wasn't normal. It kind of declined, where all she wanted was fries. Or there was one day she barely ate that, you know. She just drank soda or like Sprite or Diet Dr. Pepper or apple juice. Or I had like chips and things in her room for her to snack on. And, you know, I baked cookies so that she can have, and all that kind of stuff. But right here, as you can see, is a whole plethora of things that I have here. And I just wanted to kind of go down the line and let you know what I needed to do, because I am the only one that's taking care of Kayla right now. I don't let Earl go in because he has pre-existing conditions that could hurt him. I'm also diabetic, but I'm not as bad off as Earl. Like, my diabetes is starting to be under great control, especially now that I'm eating more vegetarian, vegan type lifestyle. So anyway, let's just go ahead and I'll tell you what the first thing. The first thing is this mask, honey. Wear your mask. I always have to wear my mask when I'm in the room with Kayla. I don't go in there without having my mask on. I have to keep myself protected so that I can take care of her and make sure she feels good. So I know a lot of you mama bears, you know, you're like, oh, this is my kid, I don't care, I gotta make them feel better. Yes, but if you're not, if you're not in good condition, you can't do nothing for her, you know. Now I really do, you know, I told my husband the other day, I really feel bad for people that have to go into the hospital, because you can't go in there and give them that loving touch, that loving care, you know, like I can do for her. You know, I can knock on her door, hey baby, you need anything? We can text each other. We do Messenger. Even though she's right here in the house, I'll do Messenger so I can see her face and make sure she's okay. I'll go in, you know, kind of straighten up her room and clean it up so that she can heal a little better. I've also, like every other day, I'll wash her sheets and her comforter and switch it out every other day, so that way she can have clean sheets and stuff and is not retaining all of that stuff in her room. So some of the things that I ended up going to Walgreens, CVS, wherever, Walmart, your local grocery store, to get things for her. Before I dive into this though, another thing I want to tell you, don't be afraid to tell family and friends about your circumstances, that either you have it or somebody in your family has it. Let them know. And the reason why I say that is because, guys, I have gotten so much help, and she's gotten so much love from people that have found out. Even my neighbor, yesterday we were out, you know, getting things for Kayla for her from her dorm room, so that she can have her TV and all that kind of stuff in her room so she can be more comfortable. Well, while we were out, my neighbor sent over Tiff treats, cookies and goodies for her, just telling her to feel better and get well, which I thought was so sweet. And then the day before that, on Friday, her grandparents, my dad and my stepmom, sent her beautiful, beautiful flowers. Like, she wasn't even expecting that kind of stuff. And you don't think people, you know, are thinking about you like that, but they really are. And so she got that. While I was out, I was actually meeting a co-worker who, oh my gosh, I wish I could shout her name out, but I didn't get permission, so I'm not going to. But oh my goodness, when I tell you she came through, she came through. She brought us tons of wipes and 2 cans of Microban, and she even gave us goodie bags, a goodie bag for Kayla that has like tissue, Tylenol, more wipes. She even got her some little snacks to have, you know, lotion, you know, things that girls and like to have. Even some little Tic Tacs, guys. Like just the thought behind it. You know, she had a bag for Kayla. This is Kayla's bag, and then she had a bag for me. And I thought it was so nice of her to do that. Like, y'all, it was a big brown grocery bag full of stuff. I mean, anything that you, I mean, she even got us this, she got us 2 bottles of zinc. I mean, I couldn't find the zinc. I couldn't find the Microban. Then I have a girlfriend of mine, and y'all seen Carrie on here plenty of times. Carrie, she's single, she lives by herself, and she also works in the medical community as well, and then she has friends that are in the medical community. So she actually bought over a can of Lysol for me, a full can of Lysol. When I showed my husband, he was like, where in the world did you get that from? We haven't seen Lysol, and we can't tell you how long. But she texts me, and she's like, it's on your doorstep. And, you know, it's things like that that just make you want to cry, because you like, when you're thinking you're alone, but people are actually thinking about you. And a lot of people knew how scared I was to even go out. Like, I'm missing out on lots of activities with my family. Y'all know, if you've been a subscriber for a long time, and if you haven't, y'all need to go back and maybe look at some of my old videos. Maybe I'll put an old video, link to an old video up here so you guys can see it. But my family and I, we hung out a lot, and they're still kind of out, you know, doing things here and there. But I'm the one that's being like, oh, like I feel like I'm, you know, sometimes I feel like I'm going overboard with being cautious, but it got in here anyway. So I don't know, you know, if you should go out, if you shouldn't go out. I think it's all up to you and how you feel. And that's what a lot of people are telling me. You know, my brother was telling me, you know, you're doing what you can do for your house, you know, so don't feel bad about that. So I'm not feeling bad about it. You know, I'm okay with it. So let people know, because they can do things that can kind of just brighten your day. When you think you're in the trenches by yourself and you're doing it all alone, people are there for you to help. And I want to say this too, if you know someone that has it, you know, kind of think about them a little bit. You know, go get a little bag of Betty Crocker mix. All you gotta do is mix some water and with the powder and make some muffins or something, and wrap it up, put a ribbon on it as, here, I was thinking about you. Do something, you know, just something nice, or find out what's their favorite bottle of juice or something and say, hey, just thinking about you. And if you find some of this type of stuff, hey, just thinking about you, here you go. I mean, my coworker, like, when I say she knocked it out of the park, she even knew that my husband is always looking for bottles of alcohol, rubbing alcohol. She even had that in the bag. Like, I did buy her something because I knew she wasn't going to accept any money. So I bought her like this beautiful sign. It was like, it said grateful, thankful, and blessed, which we're always talking about the Lord together too. So that was kind of awesome. That and she loved it. She wasn't even expecting it. Okay, so I'm gonna go dive into and show you guys what I got. All right, so one of the things that I told that Kayla needs to take, that we started taking, was vitamin C. Before I could actually get this vitamin C, we got these tablets that we put in water, and I had her drink these vitamin C tablets. It's an immune support, so hey, you need to make sure that your immune system is working well. So the vitamin C or the vitamin C tablets, one of the two. And they also have like vitamin C gummies in case people don't like to swallow pills, because Kayla really don't either, but she's gotten used to it now. But yeah, if you want like some gummies or something like that, that would be great. Then I also heard that vitamin D was good for you, so we got her some vitamin D pills. My coworker, like I said, she found the zinc, thank God. So she found the zinc, and now she's taking it. And not only is Kayla taking it, but myself and Earl, we're taking the stuff too. You know, I'm definitely taking it because I have to be in that room, but I definitely take all of this. The vitamin C, the vitamin D, the zinc, all of it. So when Kayla first started out hurting, and you know, having the fever and stuff, what I did was I told her to take aspirin, and then 4 hours later take ibuprofen, and 4 hours later take aspirin, and 4 hours like that was keeping her fever down. And before she would take the next pill, I would tell her to take her temperature and, you know, that kind of stuff. So she was taking her temperature and making sure. Oh, laundry's done. Is it gonna stop? Okay, I think it stopped. Okay, so and so she, that thing gonna do it again. I know it is. Chloe, why don't you go stop the laundry? She just totally ignored me. You gonna ignore me? You gonna ignore me, furry kitty? Oh. Okay. Anyway, so every 4 hours she would alternate this until we thought, let's just wait and see. And she would wait, you know, maybe an hour or so later instead of every 4 hours, and maybe 5 hours or 6 hours, and she would keep checking her temperature and making sure it was down. And once we broke that temperature, then we no longer needed the aspirin and the ibuprofen. But that's a good tip, and I've always used to do this even with my kids when they were little, except for I would use the liquid. I would use a liquid type of like acetaminophen, and then a liquid type of ibuprofen. I think it was like Motrin and Tylenol or something like that that I used to use for them in a liquid form when they were little. But this always works to break that fever, and that's what I did. And then I also, and another thing that a lot of people don't think about, and my mom is the one that gave me this tip, and that is to make sure that you don't let the person keep socks on them and sweatshirts and all that kind of stuff, because all that does is trap the heat, guys. So you don't want to trap the heat. You want them to cool off. And I know it's so hard. It's the worst thing that a mother can do to a child, because the child is saying, I'm cold, I'm cold, I'm cold. And I'm like, I know, but you cannot have these socks on. You cannot have these sweatshirts on. Chloe, can you get out of the camera? I think she wants to be a star, y'all. We're just gonna let Chloe stay in, because this is what Chloe does. This is a cat. This is a typical cat, especially my cat. Like, she's got to be in the way. She cannot just be. Okay. Anyway. So anyway, what I did, instead of letting her be under a comforter and with the socks and all that kind of stuff, I pulled those socks off, told her to take that sweatshirt off, and I just covered her with a light sheet. She appreciated it because it kind of kept her semi-warm, but it didn't trap a lot of heat, you know. So that is another little tip for you. Take those socks off. Take the sweatshirts off. You know, I think she even had a bonnet on her head. Take that off, because you don't want to trap the heat. You want that fever to go away as soon as possible. So top them with a sheet, and that helps. Another thing, of course, she was doing a lot of coughing, and my husband is the one that said to get this, and so we got severe cold and flu for her, and she was taking this as well. As you can see, this was a full bottle, but this is all she's taken. And a lot of the symptoms started to go away within, like, I don't know, I say maybe a couple of days. She started, it was like she was kind of going up and down a little bit, but then there was one morning I got up and she was like, good morning, and I was like, oh my God, like, you look so much better. So these are really helpful things. Like, at least it worked for us. And so here, of course, here's the Lysol that my girlfriend got us. Make sure you Lysol everything down. Or if you don't have any Lysol, get some of these wipes right here. Some of these wipes to kind of go back, because you have to remember, we didn't know she had COVID that whole day. So she's been all around the house touching and going into the refrigerator and all that kind of stuff. So we had to wipe everything down and Lysol everything down. And I didn't even have this can of Lysol. So one of the things that we did have, and I'm sure some of you guys can maybe find some of this stuff, is like this type of disinfectant, which is a liquid, but we just sprayed like doorknobs down and wiped them down and sprayed the refrigerator, the cabinets, all that kind of stuff. Just sprayed things down and cleaned to the best of our ability when we found out that, you know, when she had the fever. We didn't even know she was positive yet, but we didn't want to take any chances with the rest of us. Chloe, get away. Get down. yeah, we wiped everything down. And that's a good thing to note too. Even if you don't know if they are going to be positive, just wipe it down anyway. You just never know. And then that way, this cat is getting on my nerves. And then that way, you'll be safe. And now she's looking at me like, how dare you say that? Anyway, so that way you'll know that you're actually going to be safe. And you'd rather be safe than sorry. So find yourself some of this. My husband loves this stuff, this crud cutter. Like, he goes around spraying it all over the sofa and everything. And I'm like, is that stuff, does it have bleach in it? I don't want it to stain. He's like, no, it doesn't. But he'll spray it on just about everything. And he's only being cautious because, like I said, with him being overweight and him having diabetes and, you know, no, we don't want to take any chances. And you always want to have some hand sanitizer, not just for yourself, but for her as well. And then we have these two also in her room, and she uses these to kind of go back and forth in the bathroom. She takes one, and that way she opens the bathroom door, and then she opens her room door. So because she knows I'm actually opening that door as well. However, I do have gloves. Gloves are a funny thing, and I found these at Walgreens, and they're good to have, don't get me wrong, but you have to be really careful with them because, you know, you're thinking you're protected. You're protecting your hands. Yes, your hands are protected, but, you know, there are times where you'll, like, touch your face or, you know, do something. You got them gloves on, you don't want to do that. So just be real careful when you're wearing the gloves and, you know, when you're going in there. And, like, I wear the gloves a lot, like, when I'm, you know, gathering up her trash, because I also have like trash bags in her room, and then I go in and I'll put my gloves on and I'll go outside, and I'm almost acting like a doctor because I'll maybe have that trash bag hanging around my arm, and then I'm walking around like this to push the door open and to throw things away and then throw those gloves away, and then I can walk back into the house because we keep our large trash can outside, so I throw everything away out there. Also, just kind of be mindful of when you feed them. We have lots of paper plates, paper bowls, things that we can kind of just dispose of. We have paper, plastic spoons, plastic forks, plastic knives. You can throw that away. I bought her own container of like apple juice so she can drink out of it if she wants to. Or I bought her little cans of Sprites. Or maybe you can get the ones with the bottles. For some reason they were out of, when I went to look for Sprite with, you know, with the tops, like the 6 or 8 pack, they were out of them. So I ended up getting her little cans because I didn't want her to waste them or them to go bad. And then, you know, so at least I know she can finish them. So, excuse me. Yeah, that's some of the things. So now I am going to take you into the room with Kayla. And don't worry, you don't need to wear your mask because I'm just recording this. You will not catch it, but I am going to put my mask on, and I'm gonna kind of give you a look at Kayla's room and how she is, and then maybe she'll even talk to us and let us know, like, give us some information on how she actually felt, what it feels like, some of the other things, characteristics that happened while she was on COVID, some of the things that maybe I haven't thought about that she can tell you. I know there was also another thing while I'm thinking about it, that she said she had some issues in her throat. She said she kept feeling like something was caught in her throat and something was caught in her chest. I thought maybe gas. I gave her Gas X, but I'm not even sure if that has been lifted or not. So we'll ask her about that. But she did say that she didn't have a problem breathing. Like, that never occurred with her, but she is young. So yeah, so let's go in and talk to Kayla about her experience with COVID-19. Alright, Kayla, so I just got finished telling everybody about that you have COVID. And just kind of, I don't know if you want to tell them anything. I kind of wanted to show them how we have your room sort of set up. So all the medication, guys, that I just showed, normally we'll have it sitting here. And then, you know, if she has any kind of food or anything, we'll sit it next to her bed here. And like I said, you know, she has her own little ball of apple juice, and she has her laptop and computer and everything under there. And then we went back to get her TV so that she can watch, you know, like Netflix and all that kind of stuff. And those are the flowers that I was speaking of. And then also here are her Tiff treats that she also got. But here's the trash bag that I have set up for her so that she can throw things away. Which, is this trash? Okay. So I can throw this away. And then at the end of the night, like I'll end up getting that bag and tossing it. So is there any other things you would like people to know about, you know, just the whole experience of how you felt when you got it? We're not looking for a long explanation, but how you felt when you got it, how you feel about it, any kind of warning signs you want to tell anybody about?
If you cough.
Okay, yeah, she's been interrupting a lot.
Do you have COVID?
Get out. That's another thing. We banned all of the pets out of the room because we don't want them to carry it. Okay.
If you
As we were
cough,
saying.
you probably have it.
Why do you say that?
Because
Is it a different type?
I thought I was just like choking on like my spit, but I haven't.
So you did that a lot?
It was just the night, like the night before I got a fever. It just a cough out of nowhere. It was like at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
I
really?
just started coughing.
Oh, wow. I don't know if I like hearing that because I did that yesterday. It felt like the spit kind of went down the wrong pipe. Is that how you felt? Oh, okay.
It's just like a regular like cough.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I don't have to worry.
And then you feel nauseous a lot.
Yeah. Are you still feeling like that?
So
Okay.
it's just a headache, which is also what it started with.
And I forgot to tell you guys about the nausea. Well, I told you about the nausea. Chloe, stop coming in here. I told you about the nausea. But what I didn't tell you about is that I also had some motion sickness pills. And I didn't put the whole bottle in here because I didn't want her to contaminate it. But I gave her some motion sickness pills. And so did that help? The motion? Okay, so the motion sickness pills.
Puts you to sleep.
Yeah, it puts you to sleep. It does make you sleepy, which is kind of good because that way you can kind of rest.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
you want
all you're basically doing, sleeping.
Yeah, a lot of sleeping she did. And I tried not to disturb her, but then, I always wanted to come in and check and make sure she had everything she needed. Maybe tell them like some of the things that they could probably get for the person as far as something to eat. What are some of the things that people should maybe have in the house that you actually liked to eat?
I don't know.
Did you
like the cookies were good.
Cookies were good.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it just depends, because like you don't be hungry, but you're hungry, but you're not hungry, but you are hungry.
Okay. I know what you're saying. It's like you want to eat,
yeah.
but
you don't really have like appetite. I didn't lose like no smell or taste, but like I just don't have appetite.
Okay.
Like that breakfast was a lot.
So.
And it was a big.
Yeah. So I served Kayla a pancake and 3 little pieces of sausage, and she said that was a lot, and she didn't even finish the entire pancake, but she ate a little bit. So I guess the appetite is suppressed a little bit, but like now she's munching on grapes and cheese, and I bought her some pecans.
But you kind of start hating your favorite snacks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I didn't drink that for a long time. I didn't like it.
And she loves apple juice.
Yeah, and the hot chips, it was just like, I don't want that.
So right here, guys, we have a box that has like all of her snacks in it if she gets hungry. And I know you're like, oh my God, it's all junk, but
Basically all you want.
that's all you really. And I was just whatever she could possibly eat. So we got the cookies that I baked in here, and then she loves hot chips and things like that, and Funyuns and stuff like that. But she wasn't eating it a lot. And we even started off with like cheese dips and stuff, and she's just like, yeah, no.
It's like you're hungry, but for some reason all I want is fatty fast food. Like I don't want anything.
Yeah. So I don't know if that is for everyone, but we're just saying this is Kayla. This is what she wanted. And so, how about the Sprites and the Diet Dr. Pepper? Were they good?
Yes. Especially the Sprite.
Okay.
It's like, I don't know. It's like drinking water, but not water. And it helps with the nausea.
Helps with the nausea. Okay, yeah, that's right.
Like for a while, you kind of like not constipated, but like there's just no movement there.
Yeah, and it could be possibly because you don't really have much in you, so that could be it too. Okay, well, we're not going to disturb you anymore. Is there any other things before we leave that you would like to tell people about the whole experience? Like, I don't know, maybe tell them how you felt when you got the results.
I thought I was gonna die.
Oh.
My friend was like, go to the hospital, and I said, I don't want to go to the hospital. I refuse to drink chicken broth. That's what I think of, chicken broth and Jello.
At the hospital?
Yeah, it's gross.
Okay, so why did you, okay, one or two things. Why did your friend tell you to go to the hospital?
Because it's serious.
Oh, because COVID is very serious.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, now, guys, the only reason that I would have taken Kayla to the hospital is if she had breathing issues and things like that. And then that's where that whole getting them on the ventilator thing comes in. But Kayla didn't have issues like that where she needed to actually go to the hospital to be on a ventilator or anything like that. So there's different stages of this COVID thing.
Mild.
Yeah, she had very mild symptoms. They were serious symptoms, and they were symptoms enough that we knew something was not right, that she shouldn't be going out and about. So,
the headache at the beginning was nasty.
And it lasted all day?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I woke up like, okay, I got a headache. I took an Advil. It's not going nowhere. Something ain't right.
Right. Okay. So, yeah, so then she, like I said, I told you guys the whole story about that. And so, was it scary when you got the results? Were you scared, or were you like, oh, it's going to be all right?
Kind of both.
Kind of both.
Yeah.
Are you glad you were home?
Yes. And my roommate told me, like, I haven't been there, so probably don't have it either.
Okay, so just one more question, and then I'll let you go. The tracing. Did you talk to the people that you were around to let them all know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That was the first thing I did.
First thing she did. So that's awesome, because that way they can kind of look out for themselves and see if they have symptoms. And then, I know I said that was the last question, but as you guys know, Kayla is a college student, so another thing that she had to do was call her school and let them know, and they told her, don't come back here.
I can't
For how
come
long?
back for 10 days. Like 10 days since I reported it. And when I do come back, I have to make an appointment with the health services to like have a whole test thingy.
Okay.
To make sure I don't have it.
All right. Well, we're not going to bother you anymore.
And I still have to go to class.
Yeah, she still goes to class because everything was virtual anyway for Kayla. So that's awesome that she can still do that from her bed. And she didn't want to. She wanted to just be sick.
In my bed.
Yeah. But at least you can do it from the comfort of your home and know that you got somebody to take care of you. So I'm going to get out of here while I can. And thanks, Kayla. Thanks for letting everybody know what's going on. Okay. So
don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And don't forget to stay safe. Bye, guys. Do you have COVID? Are you sick? Do you have a fever? Chloe. Chloe. What's wrong with you? Don't speak to me.
say her name really, really high pitched, like Chloe.
Chloe.
What do you want? What's wrong?